Hey guys, what is going on? This is Wrestlelamia, back with another episode. SummerSlam is over, but the Tribal Chief isn't looking backwards, as he's already set his sights on Drew McIntyre, his opponent for Clash at the Castle. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the first Smackdown of August with all the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know, including big plans for Karrion Kross, WWE announces a women's tag team title tournament, Vince McMahon taking off WWE internal roster, bad news for Liv Morgan's push, and more. As always, Wrestlelamia won't recap the show, but look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. The good. Playing off Pat's popularity. Excellent work by the WWE in continuing to play off Pat McAfee's popularity with the WWE Universe. While Wrestlelamia hopes Pat's feud with Happy Corbin is over, it's difficult to imagine any reason for continuing the feud as McAfee is a part-time wrestler. Having McAfee cost Corbin his match with Ricochet was a good way to end the feud. Having Ricochet throw a football to McAfee and Pat punting it into the crowd was another sign the WWE recognizes the WWE Universe's love for SmackDown's color commentator. Shayna's second chance? Shayna Baszler's gauntlet match win over Raquel Rodriguez and 5 other competitors was an impressive outing by the Queen of Spades, and hopefully a sign WWE plans on booking her as it did when she terrorized NXT. With Ronda Rousey currently serving a storyline suspension, could Baszler defeat Morgan and face her MMA compatriot? Or will WWE bring Rousey back to face Baszler before Clash at the Castle, possibly taking Baszler's title shot? Giving the women time. Tonight's gauntlet match served notice that not only is WWE going to continue pushing its women's division, it's going to increase said push. Having a gauntlet match comprised of 7 superstars was an excellent way to showcase the Blue Brand's various female superstars, to stress the importance of earning a title match, and giving fans of women's wrestling the time to enjoy a good match. Women's Tag Tournament. Another sign WWE is pushing its women's division was the announcement that WWE is finally starting a tournament to fill the vacated Women's Tag Team Championship. More details in our news section. The WWE is short on teams, but as Wrestlelamia has discussed in past videos, there are plenty of potential teams to build from the women's roster. Karrion Kross returns with Scarlett. Smackdown was a hit-and-miss show, but when it hit, wow did it hit. Rumors have been flying that Karrion Kross might be on his way back to WWE, but did anyone expect him to show up on SmackDown, ambush Drew McIntyre, and put Undisputed Champion Roman Reigns on notice? Kross made quite the return to WWE, complete with his manager Scarlett by his side. The bad. A slow start. SmackDown got off to a slow start, especially compared to Raw, which started off with an excellent promo featuring Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair, followed by Bayley and company's backstage attack on the Man. Tonight's Blue Brand began with the hype videos and Happy Corbin taking on Ricochet. If WWE wanted to build off Raw's momentum, it failed by giving the fans no sign that Triple H is taking things in a bold direction. Local talent? Indeed, SmackDown was anything but bold as the Viking Raiders took on local talent, predictably squashing their opponents. There's a time and place for local talent, but the follow-up show from SummerSlam was neither. Local talent screams of lazy booking, and that is the last thing lapsed fans who tuned in tonight, or regular viewers for that matter, want to see. Kofi beats Eric. Why did the WWE book Kofi Kingston over Viking Raider Eric? It's far too early in the feud for Kofi Kingston to get a pinfall win over either one of the Viking Raiders, let alone a roll-up pin, unless the WWE is going with a new direction for the New Day and/or the Raiders and wants to quickly phase the feud out. Having Kofi attack the Viking Raiders with a kendo stick was a good follow-up to last week's angle where Eric and Ivar took out Xavier Woods, but there was no reason for Kingston to get a win. Another Shinsuke Kaiser match? Is Vince booking? Did the WWE use a leftover Vince McMahon script for last night's SmackDown? How else to explain the Shinsuke Nakamura vs. Ludwig Kaiser match? Fans who watched last Monday's Raw saw 3 hours of wrestling with no rematches in sight. While Nakamura vs. Kaiser is a good match, there was no need for a rematch as Shinsuke just defeated him. This was lazy booking and a painful reminder that WWE has to make a strong effort to break its bad booking habits. Ricochet's fluke win. Is Ricochet back to the mid-card? Wrestling's Future of Flight enjoyed a short but impressive reign as Intercontinental Champion, leading to his fans hoping he might finally get a sustained push. That hasn't happened since dropping the IC title to Gunther, and tonight's fluke win over Happy Corbin suggests his previous push is over. Are Aaliyah and Sonya Deville jobbers now? Are Aaliyah and Sonya Deville glorified enhancement talent, i.e. jobbers to the stars? Fans who wondered if Triple H would push either woman seem to have their answer, as both superstars continue to lose on a regular basis. Although Aaliyah is a newcomer, DeVille has been around and has the talent to be doing more than counting the lights. The Downright Ugly. Smackdown was an uneven show, which hopefully was just an instance of the growing pains involved with Triple H taking control of WWE Creative. Nevertheless, it was a disappointing show other than the Gauntlet match and Karrion Kross's return and mauling of Drew McIntyre. Triple H may already have too much on his proverbial plate if he's letting shows like this make the final cut. News: WWE splitting Undisputed Championship? Topping today's news is a report that WWE is splitting up the Undisputed Championship and that a recently returned star could defeat Roman Reigns for one of his titles. Fightful Select reports that the USA Network has asked WWE to bring back a world title to the Red brand since Roman Reigns rarely appears there. Then again, the Tribal Chief rarely appears on SmackDown. One idea is for a wrestler to win one of Reigns' titles, and that wrestler could be Karrion Kross. Fightful Select is also reporting that Kross's attack on Drew McIntyre during the closing moments of SmackDown could be a way for Kross to challenge Reigns for a title. The WWE can finally address its part-time world champion now that Triple H is leading creative, but the question is whether Helmsley will see it as a necessity. Triple H's revenge? Is Triple H's booking his way of getting revenge on Vince McMahon for dismantling NXT and failing to push Triple H's NXT superstars when they hit the main roster? That's a theory being forwarded by former WWE talent Dutch Mantel. Okay, so you don't know that Triple H, after Vince had done that to his guys, he could have taken that as a personal shot and got all pissed off. Now he's going to say, you did it to me, now I'm going to undo it and show the whole world what this guy's got. And it's going to be a project of Triple H and we'll see how it goes. What do you think of Mantel's theory? Vince McMahon taken off of internal roster. Vince McMahon has been removed from the WWE's internal roster. Is this the latest move by WWE in phasing out its former CEO and chairman, or a routine business matter? Let's take a look at a recent report from PW Insider's Mike Johnson. Vince McMahon was officially removed from the WWE's internal talent roster earlier this week, PWInsider.com has learned. McMahon had been listed internally as a talent alongside other talents who were not assigned to an official brand but would make occasional appearances and were signed to WWE deals. For example, this is how Nikki and Brie Bella and John Cena would be listed, but McMahon is no longer listed. While it's obvious the WWE is slowly phasing McMahon out of the company, marking his removal from the internal roster as a sign of the times sounds a bit like a stretch. It's more likely Vince's removal is an administrative move to reflect that he no longer will receive a salary or any other benefit as a performer. WWE announces Women's Tag Tournament. WWE.com's announcement of a tournament to fill the vacant Women's Tag Team Championship came as a surprise, and now fans are wondering whether the tournament will be used to bring Naomi and Sasha Banks back to WWE. WWE.com tweeted, "Breaking news! A tournament to crown new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions will begin on Monday on WWE Raw. Who would you like to see enter the tournament?" Now, with rumors that Naomi and Sasha Banks are returning to WWE, it's possible that WWE will incorporate the tournament into any storyline behind their return. One option would be to go with the time-tested trope of the new champions taking on the previous champions to determine an undisputed champion, presumably with Naomi and Sasha claiming that they never lost the belts to begin with. Clash at the Castle seems like a good venue for a unification match should it take place. Liv Morgan's popularity waning? Is the bloom off the rose for Liv Morgan's main event push? Some analysts, such as WrestleTalk's Amanda Savage, pointed to the negative reaction for Morgan from fans attending the 5th August SmackDown. Fans chanted, "You tapped out," as well as calling for Ronda Rousey. Morgan told the fans, "I appreciate you all calling me out on my shit." There has been some online blowback for Morgan winning the Women's Championship from Ronda Rousey and scoring a pinfall over Rowdy Ronda in the rematch, albeit a tainted win. Do you think this was just an isolated incident for Morgan? CM Punk injury update. Conflicting reports on CM Punk's recovery from his surgically repaired foot. Fans recently heard Punk was healing slowly, but now a report suggests he may be further along in his recovery than expected. Ringside News' Subhajit Mukherjee is reporting Punk was seen at the Chicago Comic Expo convention without his protective boot. The rumors continue to fly as to whether Punk will be back in time for AEW's upcoming All Out pay-per-view or if he's still healing. Whatever the case, you can be sure that AEW will try to hide the truth until it suits the promotion best. Former WWE superstar announces retirement. A big career change for former WWE superstar Aiden English, aka Matthew Raywald, as he's announced he's moving out of the ring and stepping into the announce booth. Here's an excerpt from his tweet. "I will no longer be taking bookings to wrestle going forward. I've always been most at home with a mic in front of me, and I'm in love with the broadcast side of the biz. I'm not sure I feel I belong in the ring anymore, and this year has taught me that. WrestleMania wishes Ray Walt all the best as he pursues this new phase of his career. Roman Reigns uses another banned word. Last but not least, it appears another word has been taken off Vince McMahon's list of banned terms. In this case, Roman Reigns used the word hospital, as opposed to Vinnie Mac's term undisclosed medical facility, to note where his tribal council is after taking an F5 from Brock Lesnar. Drew McIntyre used another banned word, but it's one Wrestlelamia is afraid we can't say on YouTube. Well guys, there you have it, Wrestlalamia's look at the 5th August edition of Smackdown, including the good, the bad, and the downright ugly, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know in wrestling. Be sure to leave your comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.